doesn't love weddings? I mean, think of all the planning and preparation, from the reception to the food to the cake, and of course, the dress. But even though it's exciting to plan for the wedding day, it's much more important to plan for a lifetime with each other in marriage. You guys just read those crazy vows, and nobody actually would say those things, right? But isn't it possible that some people go into marriage maybe not knowing the commitment that they're entering into? We've been learning about sacraments and the amazing graces that flow from them. So today, we're going to talk about what it really means when we say, I do.
Now, if marriage is supposed to be a sign of God's love for us, then you can be sure the devil's going to do everything he can to attack this sign. And look at it, marriage is under attack. I mean, from the inside with divorce and infidelity and pornography. It's on attack from the outside. And you look at all the objections we're hearing today. I mean, one of the most common ones is, well, isn't marriage just a piece of paper? And well, if marriage is just a piece of paper, consider this. People who get married, they live longer, they earn more money, they're happier, they have lower rates of depression, they have lower rates of domestic violence, alcoholism, they have higher rates of sexual satisfaction. Their kids are more likely to do better in school, graduate college, and have lasting marriages. Their kids are less likely to do drugs, get involved in crime, suffer emotional illness, attempt suicide, and on and on and on. So if marriage is just a piece of paper, that is an awesome piece of paper. I want that piece of paper. It's not just a piece of paper. Marriage is the cornerstone of human civilization. The fact is that as the marriage goes, so goes the family, and as the family goes, so goes the entire world. And some people would say, well, I don't get it. I mean, can't I just live with my boyfriend, live with my girlfriend, and pretty much get the same benefits? What's interesting is people who cohabit, who live together without actual marriage, actually have the opposite benefits. They have higher rates of divorce, higher rates of infidelity, higher rates of abuse. It doesn't pan out. So if that's the case with cohabiting relationships, why would we really even desire it to begin with? I mean, it's not really something people want to do in the end. I mean, if you think about people who get married, you'll see cars driving on the freeway with shaving cream and shoe polish and cans behind the car saying, hey, we just got married, honk for us or wave at us. You never see cars driving down the freeway with a sign on it that says, just cohabited, just shacked up, just started living together. The enthusiasm has never really been there. So why are people doing this? Because it's an arrangement that happens mostly, I think, because of fear. A lot of people have been raised in homes that were divorced and were kind of afraid to get married because you want to kind of dip your toe in the water and kind of see if we're going to be compatible. But the fact is, successful marriages are not the result of perfect compatibility. It's about learning how to love and forgive the imperfect person that you've chosen to marry. And the very idea of test driving marriage is impossible. You can't test drive something that by its very nature is permanent. And especially girls, I mean, think about it. You go on one date with a boy and he's a jerk. Okay, breaking up's easy, it's one date. Okay, now date a guy for 6 months and break up. All right, that's harder. But now you sleep with a guy. Now you move in with him and then it dawns on you that he's not the right one for you. Do you know how hard it is to let go when you've given away so much? Girls don't want to. They want to stay put, fix the guy, but the relationship is done before it begins. He doesn't change for the better. She typically changes for the worst. And so if marriage and the union of a man and a woman are supposed to be a sign of God's love for us, what is cohabitation a sign of? That God's in this relationship until it doesn't pan out and then he's got an exit? This isn't God's love for us. Another way that marriage is under attack today is this idea that anybody can marry anybody. And when people in the world hear that the church does not endorse same-sex marriage, you get a lot of comments like, well, the church hates gays and the church is bigoted against gays. But look, I don't think that a brother should be allowed to marry his sister. I don't believe that one man is allowed to marry two women. Does that mean that I'm opposed to siblings and I'm bigoted against siblings? No, it's just that I believe that God is the one who defined marriage as one man and one woman. And the church doesn't even have the authority to redefine that. Because if we do, then anybody can say who gets married. Well, a man can marry a man. Well, then how come one woman can't marry two men? The fact is, if everybody gets to create their own definition of marriage, then we need to take God's idea of it and put it off to the side. And some people object, say, look, I'm just opposed to legislating morality. Well, think about that statement. How much of legislation is based on morality? I mean, burglary, perjury, illegal drugs, rape, it's all based on morality, why you can't perform these acts. And in the end, those who do have same-sex attractions are called to love. And the fact that the church teaches that they're not called to get married does not invalidate the fact that they're called to love. And later on in the program, we'll discuss how God can fulfill their desires for authentic human love. Perhaps the biggest way that marriage is under attack today is how many divorces that there are. I mean, what do they say? There's like a 50% divorce rate. In fact, there's a store in Los Angeles, a jewelry store that actually rents wedding rings. I mean, how bad is this gonna get? But Christ is the one who said that if a man marries a woman and he divorces her and marries another, he commits adultery, except if that marriage was unlawful. Now, what Christ is getting at there is some things that appear to be marriages are not valid unions. And the church's teachings on annulments is an investigation that what looked like a marriage at the beginning was never a valid one to begin with. But the fact holds true that what God has joined, nobody must separate. And this isn't the church imposing her laws on us. Isn't this the longing of the human heart, that we want love to last forever? And when we come back, we're going to discuss how you can save your marriage before you even meet your spouse.